Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much for the intro, Daniel. And thank you, Martin, for giving me the floor. Sid, thank you very much for the presentation. And Faye, like Daniel here, it was great to catch up on what's the latest with the protocol. So I can talk a little bit about myself. I am a co-founder at Stakewise. We are a liquid ETH2 staking platform. Many people know about Lido, many people know about Rocket Pool, but not many people, unfortunately, know about Stakewise. We are slowly changing this. However, yeah, we currently are in a position where we are sort of playing catch up. This being said, we are the second largest, we have the second largest liquidity pool for staked Ether assets in DeFi. So I guess we are considered a major player in liquid ETH2 staking. We have been around ever since March. We currently have 38,000 Ether deposited on our protocol, either via solo deposits where users run validators just like that are entirely owned by them, or they run them for the pool where the withdrawal key is sort of not kept by us, but instead we use a withdrawal contract, a smart contract, to handle, to eliminate the custody over the funds. And yes, to date we have around 3,000 users and are continuing to grow pretty fast. Let me share my screen to give you a more in-depth overview. I'll probably start here. So we do work as a liquid ETH2 staking platform that you would imagine yourself. You have a sort of several layers of various entities that can participate in liquid staking, and we can cater to all of them. If you think of the flow of Ether from DeFi, be it users, just ordinary users, be it non-custodial wallets, be it DAOs, or on the side of like TradFi exchanges or custodians, all of them can stake their Ether with Stakewise and receive a staked ETH token in return. This token will represent their stake in the beacon chain and will grow over time to represent the growth of the stake. The Ether that is deposited into Stakewise is handled via smart contracts and oracles to be allocated to like node operators. One of these node operators is us. And then we're currently in the process of adding new node operators into the protocol. So we look to be the ultimate DAO in a sense where we have several layers of participants in the protocol, be it node operators, be it oracles, all decentralized, be it, simple users, the traditional DAO participants, or those that integrate staking services into their applications and dApps, like wallets, DAOs, exchanges, and custodians. What is unique about Stakewise is the dual token system. This is something that we pride ourselves on, but pride doesn't really matter unless your product works, and we see that our product works really well in terms of the yield that we are able to churn out because of the approach to tokenization that we have. The way dual token system works is that the deposit that you make into the beacon chain is represented with one token, which we call SEF2. It's a deposit token. And then as long as you hold it, it effectively represents your stake in the beacon chain. You accrue reward tokens in a separate token, which we call RF2, reward ETH2. Both of them are mapped into Ether in the validators. So both token balances are always one-to-one with what happens in the beacon chain. And the idea here is that by separating the two, you can first of all offer a better user experience for people applying their staked Ether in DeFi. This is related to the fact that you can dispose of rewards separately without needing to sell your principal, and also because of the sort of shortcomings of single token systems of other protocols. And it's also allowing us to offer compounding to users, where they can convert their rewards into more deposits, thereby reinvesting their earnings back into staking and boosting their yield. On the graph, you see that the representation of the dual token system. If you start with 10 Ether that you deposited into Stakewise, you receive 10 deposit tokens back. And as this Ether that you deposited into the beacon chain grows to say 10.5, your deposit token balance remains the same, but the accrual of rewards happens within the growing balance of the reward token. I can briefly demonstrate the user flow to you. I think you should see it. So whenever a user looks at our dashboard, they can see the amount that they have staking, the rewards that they earned, the staking APR, and the statistics about our pool with the staking fee clearly presented. The interface to deposit is super simple. You enter whatever amount you would like to deposit, you confirm the transaction, and you receive SIF2 tokens once you've done that. There's also a compounding option where you convert rewards into deposits. This is enabled by our liquidity pool between rewards and deposits. There's also a handy way to track your rewards. You can see that here over time, my balance has been decreasing as I've been moving more of my deposit staked Ether into farms. But this is handy for essentially any reporting purposes that you may have. With the solo product, it is pretty simple. You also do a deposit, provide your own withdrawal key at this stage, and then deposit and confirm, paying just a monthly fee per every validator that you create. Just trying to switch back to the presentation. So as of today, we have over $120 million locked. So that would be around 38,000 Ether. We also have over 3,000 users in pool and solo. The uptake has been good, and we are continuing to ramp up sort of the figures as we are decentralizing the protocol in sort of every way possible. We also have, as I mentioned, the second largest liquidity pool for staked Ether assets in DeFi. This is our Uniswap V3 pool. The reason we went with V3 as opposed to Curve, for example, is because we saw we could offer much less slippage on the same amount of capital provided to the pool. So, for example, we over the summer we have witnessed flows equaling like 10 to 15% of the whole staking pool out of the protocol, and this caused slippage in around 20 basis points, which is nothing really compared to the amount of funds moved. Similar flows have resulted in considerable slippage for our competitor protocols, and we feel verified with the Uniswap V3. Yeah, so thanks to the dual token system and the farming yield, which I'm going to come back to a little later, we are able to offer the highest staking yield on the market right now. So this is enabled both by our dual token system that enables compounding and also avoids the flaws of single token systems that I'll be happy to chat about later on. But it also relates to the fact that we have our own activation queue, and hence we don't have socialization of rewards enabled all the time. This means that as new deposits come into our protocol, we don't share the rewards of those who have been staking with us before with the newcomers immediately, only when their Ether has been activated. And this allowed us to consistently offer, a higher APR over our competitors. With regards to the farming yield, I'd be happy to share that we have 2 farms available, and they are both between Ether assets. So one of them is between deposit Ether, just Ether and staked Ether, which is the deposit part. Another is the liquidity pool between reward staked Ether and deposit staked Ether. You can see that the APRs here are into double digits. However, I should tell you that the way our farming program on Uniswap E3 works is that the tighter you center your liquidity around the current price, the more farming rewards you receive. And what this means is whenever you see this figure, this is for the whole pool, and your APR can actually be higher or lower depending on how tightly you centered your liquidity. So for example, the harvest vault that we currently have for the Ether staked Ether token is centered in the tightest range. And after the fees that harvest charges, which are quite hefty, I have to tell you, you are still able to churn out a much more more significant APR compared to just the pool as a whole. And yeah, these are the yield opportunities that we have with our protocol currently. You wouldn't sustain any sort of impermanent loss because both of the assets are Ether denominated and interlinked. So with this being said, we see this as the highest yielding opportunity for Ether in DeFi right now. You are getting Stakewise rewards, which is our governance token, staking rewards, which is self-explanatory, trading fees in both Ether and staked Ether, and also iFarm rewards when it comes to the harvest pool. I'll probably stop here to take any questions. Also haven't been keeping track of the time. Perhaps we won't have time for V2, but yeah,